gotta find it. You're gonna edit this anyway, right? Yep. Whenever I see a smoke shop, I usually just stop and pull over and see where their cigar boxes, like what they're going, you know, their old cigar boxes. I've always been into the blues and pretty much any kind of music, and I was researching blues one night online and I came across these cigar box guitars and figured it was something that I could do. This is how they come out. They're fully functional, playable, they have a great sound. They're all tuned into open G. This is how they used to do it. Back in the day, it started off with a one string, and then they worked their way up, you know, 1920s, Delta blues. They started making cigar boxes, and the three-string guitar is standard. And I just love the sound, I love how they play, I love the slide. All right, so how we're gonna start off is we're gonna drill our hole for the sound hole. Every cigar box guitar needs a sound hole, just like an acoustic guitar uses a sound hole to project the sound. You don't want it directly over the neck, you know, so you want it off to the side. A lot of people like to put two. You know, it all depends on what you want to do, on how you feel. So I know this is 1.5 inches. Now I want my sound hole to be, you know, right where the edge of the trim is. We know 1.5 inches, half of that is 3/4. So I'm gonna, right there, I'm gonna come over 3/4. And I'm gonna come over here, this way 3/4. Just come back, and match the lines. Okay, so there we go. So once that's centered, it should look pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect. They were never meant to be perfect, but I like them to be professional and perfect myself. That's how I build them. So, you know, if I go over 3/4 and 3/4, it leaves me up a little bit into the rim. So I'm going to come down a little bit more. Don't worry about your lines, because as long as you're within reason, the hole is going to cover anyway. So instead of 3/4, I'm going to go 7/8. I'm going to come down 7/8. 7/8. Now when I put that sound hole there, this rim should just catch the edge of the trim, and that's going to make it look absolutely beautiful. What we're going to do is we're going to drill the hole for our sound hole. I know it's 1.5 inches, so we marked out the box. I'm just going to take a punch, just make a little hole right there. You know, a little starting point. That way it doesn't run on you. A lot of times it has a tendency it'll run a little bit on you. I like to take just a hole saw. There we go. Now this is going to have to be filed out a little bit because it's going to be a little tight. So what I'll do is just take a file. Not too much. You want it to fit in there pretty snug. There we go. Maybe just a little bit more. And there we go. That's where our sound hole is going to be. It already looks beautiful. Just a little starter hole for our screws. Don't go too far. yeah, so what I'm doing is just screwing my tuners on, making sure they're nice. I don't want to go too tight. A little meticulous, these screws are so small. I ended up missing a step because I'm rushing here a little bit, but I'll be able to work around it. All right, so there we go. Now we have our tuners on our neck. Looks beautiful. It's getting there. One of the things I neglected to do was sand the neck, but that's okay. I can work around that part. You know, when you buy this poplar, it comes with all the edges are sharp. You know, and it might have a little bit of a dent here or a dent there. It's a nice wood to work with. You can just sand it out. I just take it and sand all these edges and even the top and bottom. I'll get a little more in depth with it in a second. But you want it to feel nice and smooth, you know, when you're playing, nice and smooth. The strings are there, everything's there, everything's sort of in the way. So I'm gonna sort of set them. You don't have to worry about hammering on this wood. This wood is strong. You're not gonna break the headstock off or anything, guaranteed. Now see how I'm tight? There's nothing I can do. I'm gonna take this block. Rather than, you know, hitting the tuners, hitting the nut, you know, I'm just gonna take the block. All right, so our next step now is just gonna be to tune it. And then I'm interested in plugging this thing in and seeing what it sounds like. So let me go grab the amp. Yeah, so this is it. I put a tuner on here just to tune it up. Open G, G, D, G. Acoustically, this guitar sounds unbelievable. You know, I mean, just listen to it. I mean, it has nice projection. So one of the things that I did was we'll see if the pickup works. We'll test the pickup and we'll see what we got. Oh yeah, it gets no better than this. Right here, fire. If you were a hard rock player and wanted to put a little distortion on there,